we go again, acting like we're just friends. When you treat me like as if I'm one night stand. When you know my heart's love for you run real deep. When you keep the love I desire far from me. Yeah, you expect much more than you're willing to give. People say I'm crazy, not willing to admit it.
Hi, I'm Tyra Jackson, and thank you for tuning in to Street Therapy. Today's special guest is Author Kennedee Devoe, author of her second book, With Friends Like These, Who Needs Enemies? Hi, Kennedee.
Hi.
How are you? Remember we said we was going to do that? Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's been, what, a year?
Yeah, a little over a year.
Yeah, because you were doing with Two Wrongs Don't Make It Right. It makes us even. And now you have your new book out with Friends Like These, Who Needs Enemies. So tell me, from that first book to the second book, what has your journey been like?
My life has definitely changed since I came out with my first book. It was an Amazon bestseller, which was a great achievement, being that I was a first-time author. So I decided to write a second book, With Friends Like These, Who Needs Enemies, based upon my personal experiences with a group of girls that I grew up with over the last 20 years, from junior high until our mid-30s. And I felt like the book was needed because I am a reality show junkie.
So we have something in common, girl.
So I love, the different shows that come on, Love and Hip Hop, Housewives of Atlanta. But it's very entertaining to watch. But in real life, is this how we're really handling disagreements within our circle of friends? And to me, I felt like it wasn't true, because I know for me, when I ended a friendship, I let it go with kindness. I didn't, put my hands on anyone, or, say I'm going to meet you at the club and I'm going to mop you up or anything like that. I just let it go in kindness, because to me, I always valued my friendships amongst those group of women, and I felt like they were family. Right. And my mother always taught me that you don't fight your family. Right. And so when the friendships ended, they ended with kindness and nothing more, nothing less.
Oh, okay. So do you think with, you're writing this, your second book, that your friends, they supported you all the way with the first book and the second book?
Most definitely. I've had a great support system of friends, and new ones, old ones, and everyone has been very supportive of both books. And I can certainly appreciate everyone, sharing on their social media sites, disclosing it to other people about the book, because that's how most people find out about it, is word of mouth. So that's an awesome feeling to know that people are enjoying it and letting others know about it as well.
So did you ever have like writer's block? I mean, did it take you, sometimes when you're writing, you have to stop, come back, think of stories, but was it so much that certain incidents that happened in the book that it hurt you to the core, that it was just easy to remember? Because I can't remember everything that, totally happened, in the past. So, was it something that really you still remember to this day?
Well, I always tell people I have like a memory of an elephant. I remember everything. I'd be like, remember in 1984 when we was on Avalon and University? And so I have like a good memory. So it's not hard for me to write when I'm talking about true stuff that's going on.
And you remember like line from line what a person says and everything that they said?
Yes.
You remember? Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, you have a really good memory then. So from now you started writing out about your relationships, and then now you're writing about relationships with women. What has been your feedback that you've been getting from your readers?
Well, a lot of women, because I have a lot of women supporters based upon the first book. And Two Wrongs Don't Make It Right is not a male basher. It's just a relatable story, because it's dealing with real life scenarios of me dating over the last 15, 20 years. So my supporters are mostly women. And so when I came out with this book, they were reading that book as well. And they're like, it's so relatable, because you can relate to at least one or two or almost all of the characters in the book, because we all have met someone like that before in our circle.
Okay. Well, do any of your friends recognize certain stories?
Well, I'm not really friends with that group anymore.
Okay.
And I actually made some of the characters composites, so that even if they were to read the book, they'll be like, that sounds like me, but no, I don't think it's me.
Okay, so in that case, we can probably discuss a little further in detail about certain characters in the book. But I also wanted to come to your defense too, because I know that there were some things you're crazy, or did you get help or something like that, and I feel that women, we're very emotional. We handle everything with emotion. Sometimes we can be impulsive, depending on what's being done. It's like, my relationship with you it depends on how you treat me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't get that. All they see is the response, but they don't see the cause.
Right.
There's always a cause and effect. We just don't act up for nothing. So in your defense, thank you for being honest and transparent about what happened, because there's a lot of people out there that are not going to share their story. And just because the person is smiling and seem like they have it all together, there might be some cray-cray, up in there. So would you say today that you have successful relationships with women?
Well, I've always had successful relationships with women. I think that in this book, because we had known each other for such a very long time, because we started off together when we were like 13 years old. But I think it's important to acknowledge that sometimes when you don't have supportive friends and you just let them linger on because the longevity is there, you have to just learn to let things go. And I think that's where my thing was with them, was that I didn't know how to let the friendships go, because I had known them for such a long time. And the characteristics that they displayed when we were younger, it was okay then because we were younger, but as we got older and it intensified, it was like, oh wow, I really don't want to be friends with anybody like that. And I really believe in making new friends. People always say no new friends, but I'm really into making new friends, because you just never know what a person is going to bring into your life, whether it be a season, a reason, or a lifetime.
And I definitely can agree with that, because a lot of times women can be really judgmental up front, and you don't want to block your blessings from judging someone, the way they look, or the way they dress, or something that you heard. Give it the benefit of the doubt. Get to know that person for yourself before you make your judgment. So I can definitely agree with you there. But in talking about the book, I wanted to touch on something that a situation that you had with Chloe. And this is a problem that I've had in the past, with women. And that's the situation where you knew about the guy that she was dating, and you knew that he had a girlfriend. And when you went to go tell your friend that he had a girlfriend, she got mad. So can you touch a little bit about that? Because it was, I'm sure there are a lot of other people out here that will say, oh, you should never tell, stay out of it. From that experience, do you believe that, the second time around, if you were to see it, would you tell?
I still would. Honestly, because I would want someone to tell me if, my boyfriend had another girlfriend or whatever the case may be. So I would definitely still I'm the type of friend that I want to be, that I want people to be to me. Right. So if that was happening, I definitely would want someone to come tell me. So I would, if I had a second chance to do it over again, I would.
Yeah, because there's so many things out there, and you don't want your friend to be hurt, but next thing you know, if she's really a friend and she trusts you, she'll know that you have her best interest at heart.
Right.
But that's not always the case. Sometimes the women, they want that man so bad, and they don't want anybody bringing them any bad news. Right. So for you to come tell them about their man, it's like you are the hater.
Right.
And then there was so that was a very interesting character. And then there was also now the other one, I think it was Emil, the one that was
sleeping around.
Yeah, sleeping around.
Yeah.
With your friend's brother.
Yes.
So my question was, why did everybody get so involved? Why was that any important? Why was that important to anybody else?
Well, in terms of us meeting at the house and the confrontation. Are you?
Well, because I know that was Sage brother.
Right.
That was Sage brother. So I know that, I could understand Sage being upset. But why was all of our other friends, and I don't want to give too much because I really want people to go out and read the book. But why, I would always wonder if it's between them, why does everyone else have to get involved?
Well, I would say, per se, we weren't upset. I think we were just more nosy.
And see, women, hey, we can be very nosy. We can be.
Yeah, I think we were just being nosy at that point because we wanted to see what was going to happen, because we thought for sure that another scenario that took place in the book before that, we thought that's what it was about, so that's why we were there.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't get through the whole book, but it kind of appeared that everybody was, getting into, the business where that was between Emil, Sage, and really the brother. But everybody else was, getting into, because she was with the cousin.
Right.
So I said, boy, I tell you, this could be a reality show, all by itself. But I noticed you touched on loyalty, trust, and integrity, which those are really great key components in a relationship. Do you think sometimes, women, we trust prematurely?
I think so, especially when we're younger. But I think as we get older, we kind of have our guards up based upon the experiences that we've been through with other people. So we know what we're willing to accept in a friendship or a relationship. Because we know better and we're going to do better at this point in time in our lives. But when we're younger, we kind of just go with the flow.
Yeah, because I know, now, I think we've talked about this before, and people they're always saying, hey, you should at least give the benefit of the doubt. And I beg to differ. You have to really get to know somebody's character,
right?
And the consistency. If they're acting a certain way, watch how they are with their friends, watch how they are, around your man.
Right.
Because you had that was a pretty serious situation, because women are really quick to get emotional and become impulsive, and next thing you know, rawr.
Right.
So what is your biggest pet peeve that you have about women and the relationships that you have, something that totally gets on your nerves?
Well, I think there has to be consistency with anything that you do in any relationship. You have to be consistent. So kind of like the way you start off things is the way that they should continue.
Well, what's a major problem that you have with, women that sometimes?
Well, I know in my new circle, because I've gotten older, a lot of people are married and they have children, so a lot of them have become flakes. So they'll be like, yeah, I'm going to go, and then, 5 hours before, you getting a phone call going, I can't go. So that's my whole thing. I don't like flakiness either.
Okay, because when you look at a lot of the reality shows, you see that women were not, they don't get along. But that, that doesn't represent women as a whole.
It doesn't, because those people are placed together as a cast. They're not really friends. They're a cast, and it's a difference between casting and actually, say for instance, if I decide to do a show with my friends, we all were friends before the show, and sometimes some of those castmates are friends before the show, but a lot of times they aren't. So you get together a group of women that don't know each other, and they're filling each other out, and all of a sudden the cattiness comes into place and the enviousness. And it's a ingredient for drama, and that's why it's on TV, because it is drama.
Because I can count, all my really good close friends on one hand, and the rest, I have associates. And with women, I find that you have to be very flexible, very understanding, because you really don't know what that woman has, what she has been through.
Right.
And a lot of times when you're just walking into a relationship blindly and a person reacts a certain way, a person's first response is to take it personally, when it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with that, woman.
Right.
So I think if anyone is out there listening today, they could think of a time when a person was trying to have a conversation with them, or tell them something they didn't like, and that person got upset or offended when it had nothing to do with them. They're just trying to express themselves. And in the meantime, that person is taking it personally and lashing back, and nothing ever is getting solved.
Right.
So that kind of prevents the person from communicating any further or being upfront or transparent.
Right.
So what's been it like? Give me your perspective on dating a friend's ex.
Well, I've never dated a friend's ex, but in the book, I had a friend date an ex of mine, and it was very hurtful. Her and I were very close. I say out of the 5 of us, her and I were the closest of friends. And when she did that, I mean, it was very devastating. And I've just lost all trust with her, in all respect, because it's like we're supposed to be friends, but you're messing with someone that used to talk to me.
Now, how long ago? Because I always, sometimes I'm on the fence when it comes to, someone dating, someone that I talk to. Because if it's been like I was 18, and I used to talk to him when I was 18, I don't really care, about when I was 18. If I was 20, and it was just a boyfriend for 2 years, I don't really care. Now, if I had a child with this person and I still have to see, my daughter's father, and someone is dating him that's my friend, I would have a problem with that.
Right.
Or if it was my ex-husband, I would have a problem with that. But I feel that I can't hold on to every person that I've dated, and it's like, I dated this person, so you can't touch him. I dated this person, can't touch him. But if it's somebody recent, like that I was dating, and then 2 weeks I find out that you're talking to him, then it's like, whoa,
It was a couple of years later, but in my opinion, if you can date my ex, I can't trust you with my current, because how I know you're not, winking and showing cleavage and laughing at unfunny jokes just to get, some attention from him.
And I definitely can, see that, because, there are women out there that don't care. And I think that's where you have to, have the lines of communication. Because me and my friend, one of my best friends, there was a time when she met someone that I dated before, and we communicated. She didn't know. But when she came to me and asked me, do you mind? I was like, girl, I do not care. That's been, a long time ago. I could care, less about that. And but we communicated. Not to say that in the past we haven't had other issues that didn't go so well, but when you kind of grow up and you mature and you have an understanding, communication is always key. But you have to get to know your friend, and if your friend has a problem with that, then you need to respect your friend's wishes.
I think if she had come to me and spoke with me, it would have been maybe different, because in the book there's a scenario that takes place where she finds out some information about him. So, but my whole thing is that if she had came to me and talked to me about it, it may have been different, but the way she went about it is what made me question her loyalty to the friendship.
And how did she go about it?
I mean, it was sneaky. It was underhanded. I had to catch them doing it. You know what I mean? Like, they just start kissing in front of me at the restaurant. You know,
serious?
And it's like, whoa! Did I just see y'all kiss? So,
wow! And you did not pull her out.
I wanted to, but I didn't.
Okay, but see, that's tacky. To go behind your back, or because you never know how long she's been doing it while you were in that relationship.
Exactly.
It could have been, going on.
And it makes me question if she's done it before, and maybe I just didn't find out about it.
Right. So is this person out of your life completely?
All of these women are out of my life completely.
Oh, okay. So we don't have any new scenarios like that going on right now?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. So why do you think that, women are so competitive with one another?
I think
from your experience, and
I think people are just envious of one another. But I think that people, instead of them being envious, they need to work on ways to improve themselves in order to compete healthy, with their friends. Because if I'm doing good, I want to see you doing good. And if you're doing good, you should want to see me doing good. You shouldn't be upset at the fact that I have something going on better in my life. You know, we're supposed to be cheerleaders for one another, uplift one another, and I think that's what we're lacking a lot of times in our friendships with women, is that we don't know how to do that.
We don't know how to be supportive. And even when you see each other on the street, smile and say hello.
Right.
You know, sometimes, you know, I'm walking down the street and I say hi and I don't even get a hello back. Sometimes I want to go back and say, excuse me.
I said hello.
Yeah, I said hello. You know, and that makes me so upset. But, you know, I think also it has to do with, you know, maybe men, you know, if, you know, they're not seeing anyone and then you're seeing someone and they're lonely. Maybe the way you dress, walk, you know, talk, your prosperity. You know, I think, you know, women will always be competitive, but there's a healthy way to be that way, and you don't have to be demonic, you know, about it. You know?
Right.
So I'm hopefully with this discussion, you know, women will kind of check themselves a little bit, and, you know, don't get upset for a woman if she's looking good. You can go and do your hair, do your nails, get your makeup done. You don't have to be mad at the next woman for, you know, looking good. And by the way, you look very good.
Thank you.
Know, today.
You as well.
You know, thank you, girl.
Well.
You know, think. So now you're working on a book number 3 as well, right?
Yes.
And so now we're talking about your relationships that you've had in the past with men.
Mm-hmm.
Now relationships that you've had with women. Mm-hmm. So what's the third book that you're going to be writing?
The third book is about, I'm writing from a male's point of view.
Okay, so are you interviewing guys?
No, I don't need to do that. I know plenty of guys. Mm-hmm. So I'm pulling from different scenarios that have happened around me. But most of it is fiction. I would say 85% of it is fiction and 15% is real.
So, but because I'm thinking from a male's perspective, it's like, you know, women, we always think that we know what, you know, guys are, you know, thinking, but we really don't. We don't know what they're thinking. Is what we're thinking and what they're thinking are two totally, completely separate things.
Well, I would say that I've been undercover doing my homework on the situation, so when I hear relatives talking, I'll be quiet and I'll just listen, and I'm learning from that. So I'm able to write from that standpoint. But the book is basically that cheating is something that's learned.
You think so?
I really think so.
You don't think it's just like natural thing for men to do? Not at all, because they let them tell it. You know, they think that men, you know, just naturally have a desire to cheat. They're not supposed to be with just one woman.
That's not true in all cases, but I really believe that cheating is something that is learned.
Oh, okay. And what makes you think that?
Just from the experiences that I have with family members, like we've had, you know, it's like a generational thing.
So how long do you think it's going to take before you finish this project? Because, you know, now I'm starting to do shows where we're starting to have a little bit more discussions, you know, about everything. And, you know, I would definitely like to talk about relationships, but I want to have some men on the show too. You know, yeah, I definitely want to have a couple of men, you know, they got to defend themselves and let us know, you know, from their perspective, from their side, but they have to be truthful, because sometimes guys don't want to be upfront about what's really going on. They try to keep us in the dark, but what happens in the dark always comes to the light. Okay, so they can't get it. Girl, you're so calm this day. You're just sitting pretty, you know, over there. So what's next, you know, on the, you know, market for you? You got a book.
Right.
And what else going on with you?
Well, I have my Divas Read Too t-shirt line. It's the accessory and apparel line. And I do the t-shirts, the mugs, and the tote bags. And I named it Divas Read Too because you don't have to be a geek or a nerd to enjoy reading. I mean, I consider myself a diva in the way I carry myself, you know, the way I dress, the way I talk. So not in a diva like, oh no, she didn't, type of thing. So that's why.
That's ratchet.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how you say it. So, but that's why I titled it Divas Read Too, and it's going pretty well.
Okay, so if anybody wants to reach out to you, you can give out your, you know, Facebook information, your email address, and you can let them know where they can get your book.
Okay. Well, I'm on Amazon.com, but if you like an autographed copy, you can get it from www.kdevoe.com, and I'm also on Twitter at KennedeeDevoe.com, and Facebook at KennedeeDevoe.com, and Instagram at itmustbekd. And I have a YouTube channel at Kennedee Devoe.
And she's not really this calm, everybody, because I have been out with her a couple of times, and she is not like this. and the cousin over there, no, right? Totally different. Well, thank you so much, for coming on and sharing your book and talking about, relationships with women. We only have 29 minutes to discuss what's going on, but I think it's really important because I would like to see more women getting along with one another.
Really?
And come on, it's like, when we start getting along, men will act different.
Right.
They don't act right because they know they can play, women easily because we're so quick, to get mad at each other and not talk, and then they have the upper hand.
Right.
So is there anything else you would like your readers or our viewers to know about Kennedee Devoe?
Well, I know a lot of times people try to place me in an urban fiction category just because I am African American, but I write for all genres. Where every woman or man can relate to the scenarios in the book from any perspective. So you don't have to be African American to enjoy the book. You can be of any nationality, especially if you've been in bad relationships or you have friends turn on you at one point in time. The book is definitely, or both books I should say, is definitely for everyone.
Exactly. Well, definitely, and thank you. And my last questions and comment is, moving from hurt to healed once you have been betrayed, how do you do that?
Well, my whole thing is I've learned to be receptive and have an open heart, because you have to have an open heart in order to give and receive love. And if you're constantly holding on to things that have happened to you, you'll never be able to heal from them.
So you don't hold on to anything? You have never held on to anything for a long, no grudge or anything?
I mean, when I was younger, but I'm almost 40 now, you know what I mean? And stress kills. So it's just like, let it go with kindness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. And thank you again, Kennedy, for coming on and go out and get her book, With Friends Like This, Who Needs Enemies. Until next time, I'm Tyra Jackson, your host, and I'll see you later.
More than you're willing to give. People say I'm crazy, not willing to admit it. Like a thief in the night, you hide the truth in your lies. With escape from my mind, my body will not abide. I'm a wimp for this sex and I'm a punk for this stress. I give you love, you give me less. I'm a fool for your love. I go weak for your physique. I surrender to your needs. Your rejection's my disease. I'm a